Hi and welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Age Origins with me and Nidhi. So, last time we had story hour with Leliana, and today we'll continue talking to our companions, starting with Alistair.
What do you need?
Hope we don't fill out an entire episode again with just more or less one character, although we do get couple interesting backstory things and lore things from them. Right, the stick-on beard. Alright, do you want to talk about Duncan?
You don't have to do that. I know you didn't know him as long as I did.
Well, that doesn't mean I don't mourn his loss.
I should have handled it better. Duncan warned me right from the beginning that this could happen. Any of us could die in battle. I shouldn't have lost it, not when so much is riding on us, not with the Blight and everything. I'm sorry.
No need to apologize.
I'd like to have a proper funeral for him. Maybe once this is all done, if we're still alive. I don't think he had any family to speak of.
And what about other Grey Wardens?
I don't know. I have no idea what the Grey Wardens do for them when they fall in battle. Have you had someone close to you die? Not that I mean to pry, I'm just...
Yeah. My entire family was murdered just recently. Just casually throwing that in here.
Oh, of course. How stupid of me to forget. Here I am going on and on about Duncan, and you... I am so sorry. Thank you. Really, I mean it. It was good to talk about it, at least a little.
Yeah, it was a friend of mine too, I suppose.
That's good to hear. It's nice to know I'm not the only one who remembers him well.
Okay, what else can we talk about? So, what can a Templar do exactly?
Essentially, they're trained to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend. But don't let them fool you. They're an army. The other main purpose for a Templar is, of course, to hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells.
And Templars use magic themselves then?
You could call it that, sure. The Chantry doesn't look on it the same way, however, since really our talents only work on mages. Against a regular person, I'm just a guy in a metal suit.
And could others learn these talents?
Perhaps, but there usually isn't much of an opportunity. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. Which means we become addicted. And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put two and two together.
Okay, an army of addicts, that's great to know. Are you still addicted, or were you addicted?
Thankfully, no. You only start receiving lyrium once you've taken your vows. You don't need lyrium in order to learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templars' talents more effective. Or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky me.
Alright, interesting. So... there could potentially be Templars that are not addicted. Well, anything else to talk about? Can you teach others to be a Templar?
I suppose I could. But I really would rather not. When the Grand Cleric let Duncan recruit me, She made me swear never to reveal Templar secrets outside of the Chantry. I'd rather not go back on my word.
But it could help. You don't think this is important?
Of course I do. It's just... I don't think you necessarily need Templar secrets to defeat the Darkspawn. Ask me later, perhaps. Maybe I'll change my mind. This is not something small you're asking, after all.
Yeah, perhaps after we start encountering Mage Darkspawn.
What do you need?
Although, didn't we already? Well.
Ask away.
Anyways, we'll come back to that when we have more approval from him, probably. So tell me about the Grey Wardens.
Such as they are.
Where are the nearest ones from here?
That's a good question. There's plenty in Orlais, but who knows where they might be found. And the nearest Orlesian city is weeks away. If we go north and cross the sea, there's bound to be some in the Free Marches. Again, however, I just don't know where. I don't know anything about Grey Wardens in other lands.
Is there any kind of central headquarters?
Here in Ferelden, there's our compound in Denerim at the palace, but that's it. Loghain will have control over that and be watching it, no doubt. Beyond that, the only place I know of is Weishaupt Fortress. That's the headquarters of all Grey Wardens in the Anderfelds, 1,000 miles from here. But I've no idea how to even contact them. So unless we try to get back to the compound in Denerim, I suppose the answer is no. There's nowhere for us to go.
Alright, so I guess we are just the two of us for now. What do we do?
I imagine that eventually the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden will wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone. They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Loghain's people in Denerim will tell them. Maybe they won't send anyone. We could try to contact them. But that would mean leaving Ferelden, and even if we did, they couldn't come back with us in time to stop the Blight. So that means whatever happens, it's up to us.
I guess we can't send airmail or something. Well, we need to start getting more recruits then.
I mean, eventually we would have to use the joining to make more Grey Wardens, right? But I don't know how to do the joining, or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic, and that it's really difficult to prepare, but that's it. Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be 2 of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere.
Well, that doesn't sound very reassuring. What would happen if we just left? No, that's not an option. Although, perhaps as a joke.
Just left? You mean just left Ferelden? I don't know. If there's an archdemon, however, we're supposed to be the only ones who can defeat it. And that means the Blight would grow unchecked. Eventually, other Grey Wardens in Orlais and other lands would hear about it, and they would come to fight it, but they wouldn't come in time to save Ferelden. There's no way. I'm not going anywhere.
Alright, so going to Orlais and other lands to fetch Grey Wardens wouldn't be an option then.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. What do you need?
Well, anything
Ask away.
else? How did you become a Grey Warden?
Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you?
Nah, I mean, before that.
Let's see. I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills.
You don't seem like the religious sort.
You're telling me I was banished to the kitchens to scour the pots more times than I can count. And that's a lot. I can count pretty high. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did. I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky.
So, you think this is better than being a Templar?
Oh, I suppose the Chantry life is good enough for some. Here, we have the chance to fight against the Blight. To actually do some good instead of sitting in a temple somewhere. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, he was a good man.
He was. A good man who didn't deserve his fate. That much I'm sure of. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
No, we're not, Tom.
What do you need?
Come on, let's talk some more.
Ask away.
You said the Arl even raised you?
Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
I thought you were raised by the... No, that's not what I remember telling you. You telling Flemeth.
Well, if you're going to go and pay attention to the facts, then fine. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Our Lehman wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
So he sent you off to the Chantry then?
Our Lehman eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, the new Arlessa resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10, just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
That's too bad. Yeah. Yeah, what an awful thing to do to a child.
Maybe. She felt threatened by my presence, I can see that now. I can't say I blame her. She wondered if the rumors were true herself, I bet. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
Yeah, that's... I guess if you try to see if someone is well and they always throw insults at you and blame you for everything, then I guess I can see why it would eventually stop. Are you sure he isn't your father?
Yes, I'm quite sure. At any rate, I don't look anything like him. You'll see for yourself. Not that it stopped the rumors any. All I know is that the Arl is a good man and well loved by the people. He also was King Kaelin's uncle. So he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
Alright.
What do you need?
Anything else?
Ask away.
Let's see. Why have you remained a Templar if you hate the Chantry?
Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I'm a sucker for good tailoring.
That's a good point. Well, I thought Templars wore heavy plate mostly.
That's just in public. In private, we have these yellow and purple tunics, right? Much more comfortable, and you don't break the beds when you jump on them during a pillow fight.
I see. A lot of pillow fights in the Templar Order then. Yeah, right, you had lots of these pillow fights, right?
pillar fights? I mean, no, of course not. I meant sword fights. With rusty swords, dripping with acid. The kind that puts hair on your chest. You don't really want to know about my being a Templar, do you? It's really quite boring.
Well... was just curious, don't have to tell me.
Then let's just get back to what we were doing. No offense, but I'd really rather not discuss it.
Okay, so, oops. That gave me some disapproval.
What do you need?
Disapproval. Right, guess we are done, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do Sten as well.
Why are we stopping?
I think if we're working together, we should know each other a bit better.
There are darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful?
Yeah, I mean, you were in a cage for weeks. Are you alright?
You are concerned. No need. I am fit enough to fight.
So, what are the Kunari all about?
No.
What? Don't want to tell me? I wasn't expecting that.
Get used to disappointment. People are not simple. They cannot be summarized for easy reference in the manner of the elves are a lithe, pointy-eared people who excel at poverty.
Yeah, you may be right there, but if you're not even trying to give us a more nuanced picture, then perhaps we cannot get a better picture of you. You said you were in the army.
I am.
So, have you ever fought in a war?
I have always fought in war, human.
Are your people always at war?
My people have been at war since the moment we set foot in the Northern Islands.
So, the Kunari don't come from the island. Well, have you tried diplomacy?
Words fail when your opponent's native language is deceit. I do not see how this matters. Seheron and Parvolan are distant. Ferelden and the Darkspawn are immediate.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
As you wish.
Oh, he did approve at least.
Yes.
So... what were you doing in the cage?
Sitting, as you observed.
That's not what I meant.
It's what you asked.
That's correct. Are you going to answer my question?
I did. Parshera, was there anything else?
Ah well, let's discuss something you mentioned, although I don't know what it is yet.
Speak then.
That's an...
Then I suggest we move on.
I have a
I
question.
am hardly surprised.
And why did you come to Ferelden?
To answer a question.
I see. Which question?
The Arishok asked what is the Blight. By his curiosity, I am now here.
Alright, so... do you have to report back?
Yes.
And when are you going to do that?
Never. I cannot go home.
Why not?
It doesn't matter now. Can we move on? We keep the Darkspawn waiting.
Alright, let's go then.
As you wish.
Talking to you later. He's an interesting character. He's even more literal than me, so yeah. Right, we are at 20 minutes. I guess we'll just check out one or two of these guys that look like vendors. So, Levi Dryden.
You're a hard man to find. Where are my manners? The name is Levi Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levi of the coins? Levi the trader?
No, it didn't.
Really? He never told you of old Levi? We've known each other for years. But here I am carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
I mean, you could tell me anything, and I couldn't verify if it really is Duncan's will or not. So, what promise did he make?
As you know, my family's name is mud around noble circles. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden commander of Ferelden back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arland banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
Yes?
Hard to say. After King Arland died, there was a civil war, loads worse than this one. And our family was on the run, hunted by enemies, with nary a friend in the world. But Drydens are tough. We rebuilt, became merchants, and we never lost our pride.
So, what do I have to do with all that?
Duncan wanted to reclaim the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak, and perhaps we'll uncover evidence to restore my family's honour along the way. Nobody's been to Soldier's Peak since the Grey Wardens were banished, but I found a way. They say it's haunted, and it's certainly dangerous. Will you help me?
Well... how will reclaiming the peak help the Wardens?
Soldier's Peak is strategic and symbolic importance. Duncan said that it would be worth it right there. He also hoped to recover lost Warden history and perhaps a few old relics. No one knows what's up there now.
Well, I guess it sounds like something we might want to do. So if I say let's go, will it take me right there? I'll have to think about this for now, because I want to put down a save. Because I don't want to go there if it
my offer?
brings me...
Soldier's Peak has been abandoned too long, if you ask me.
If it brings me right there, then I don't want to do it right now.
1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
Oh. Okay, so I just got a quest, but we are not teleported there right now. That's good. Premium content. So I guess that's DLC. Yeah, I don't know. Let's talk to the dwarves.
Good to see you, my timely rescuer. Bodon Fennick at your service once again. I saw your camp and thought to myself, what safer place to rest for the evening than in the camp of a Grey Warden? I'm perfectly willing to offer you a fine discount for the inconvenience of our presence. How does that sound? Good? Yes?
Yeah, I mean, you're free to stay. Let me see your wares. Just mind yourselves, that sounds a bit offensive, a bit aggressive. Right, let me see your wares.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Okay, so he has the Veshial. a tier 7 axe. With... yeah, that could be something for Alistair. Perhaps. But it's way too expensive. And Sylvan's Mercy. Which... yeah, it's okay. It's quite okay. What do we have here in the armor department? Blood Dragon Plate Boots. Blood Dragon Plate Gauntlets. So I'm assuming those are... mage, massive gloves, yeah. So I'm assuming those are part of the set with the Blood Dragon plate we have here, which seems to be a relatively cheap way to get some early massive armor, and it takes 38 strength each. Yeah, 38 strength each. I don't think, well, which one was it? Character record, Alistair. We're not yet at 30 something strength.
The boy's a bit simple, but he's rather good with enchantments. One of those tranquil fellas actually called him a... what was it now? A savant. I had no idea such a thing existed.
Alright, so we can enchant things here. What enchantments does he do?
He can fold lyrium into almost any weapon or piece of armor, though naturally some of the more extravagant materials will take more lyrium than others. It's a process that some of the master smiths back in Orzammar will perform, but my boy here is just as adept at it. Isn't that right, boy?
Enchantment!
And there you have it.
Okay, what other goods do you
certainly,
have?
I can do that for you. Just come with me.
Right, yeah, so I guess we'll purchase those as soon as we have 38 strength on Alistair, which will take a bit of time to get. But then we'll have him decked out in a full set of massive gear, so that's good. And I could already purchase it. So that's good. Is this for the dog? So he has a lot of interesting armor, at least. Weapons, well, not so much, except for the expensive one. But armor is kind of cool. The spell ward, wow, that has a lot of green stuff. 5 willpower, health regeneration while exploring, spell resistance, chance to dodge attacks, and chance to avoid missiles. Not too bad. Stamina regeneration in combat. In combat, that's not bad. That could help with getting off a couple spells, or skills, rather. Ranged critical chance. 2%. I don't know, with such low critical chances, it's I don't like it too much. If you can get the critical chance decently high, like 40-50%, then you trigger it reliable enough that you can kind of ignore the RNG aspect of it. If it's just like 1 or 2% chance, then it's not triggering reliably enough to, well, rely on it. So yeah, not exactly a fan of that. Increased monetary gain, that's interesting. Okay. We could get some health poultices. Tomes, what do tomes do? 1 point to spend on a talent or spell, but it's rendered useless afterwards. Okay. So I guess we can get more skill points from these tomes. Interesting, interesting. Couple of runes, gifts. Yeah, I'll have to look into the gifts to see if I can spend a couple gifts. Well, there's a lot of gifts for 0. Wow. A lot of gifts for 0. I'll have to look into that and... well, gift them to people, I guess. So Alistair doll... Is that a voodoo doll of Alistair? That could be good for for Morrigan. Right, yeah, I'll have to check all these gifts out. Then we have stacks of 50 of these gifts. Manual Ranger. Oh, those will give me the ability to learn these specializations. Interesting. And also I think I've read that if you purchase the specialization, it will be for all, well, basically it will be for the game and not for your playthrough. So I could essentially sell something for 2 silver, save the game, buy the Manual Ranger, buy reload, buy the Manual Templar, reload, and I should have both of them unlocked. I mean, that's kind of neat, I guess, if that works. And we have the backpack. Maybe I will try if that works in between episodes, so we would have the unlocks done without spending anything. Although, I mean, we could get the specializations from certain characters, so Templar probably we will get from Alistair if we get the right discussion going. I mean, when we talked to him earlier, he was saying, yeah, well, I don't want to teach it to anyone right now, but come back later, so that's good. So that may really, well, it would be a cheaper way to get it, but since you can get it by just reloading anyways, then I may as well do that. We'll see. Right, crafting. There's just flasks and concentrator stuff and so on and so forth. Actually, I may accidentally have done that with the Bard specialization, that I unlocked it on a test save from the Raven, and now it's just unlocked forever. That may actually be something I have done by accident. Where could I see if I've unlocked it? Heroic accomplishments? No. Spells and talents? No. Skills? No. Well, probably the codex, perhaps? Codex, creature item, character, book, song, note. Well, that was the cat jumping down. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see when we level up again. Yes, maybe when we level up. Yeah, so the Bard thing is highlighted, so I guess that's unlocked. Oh, I do have a specialization to spend. And I will take the Bard specialization and... not sure which one. A Ranger or Assassin, one of those. Or was it Duelist? I don't know, but Bard for sure. For the song, just some upkeep that will help the other party members as well as me, so that's good. Yeah. Oh, so at level 7 and 14 we get one. Okay, so I will take the Bard just to get the bonus willpower and cunning. Yeah. So that's that. I really unlocked the Bard by accident. Good. Yes, I may, in between episodes, unlock the Templar and what was the other? Well, the 2 specializations. And we will talk to Morrigan next time. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you've enjoyed and well, have a great day. Bye.